Now let's finish the register process. So we've done everything in the backend. So simply now we're gonna send a request to the backend with all the informations and then register the user in the database. Okay, I've cleaned the database from any users, so it starts fresh. And then we're gonna get an email, our verification email, and our the email that we used in the registration. Okay, so simply after we verify everything right here, then we're gonna send the request. So we're gonna create a function. Let's call it, for example, register submit. Okay, submit. Okay, and let's take this function and create it. So we're gonna go back right here. It's gonna be const register submit is gonna be an async function, and then we're gonna go and have an arrow function. Okay, so first of all, let's prepare something. Okay, the thing that we're gonna need is that we can have like an error when we send the request. We're gonna catch that error, so error, and then set the error itself, and then use state. I'm gonna explain everything, don't worry. And we're gonna see all of this in action. Okay, we're gonna have another tool which is gonna be for the success. So when everything is all right, okay, set success. Okay, and it's gonna be this. Okay, and also we're gonna need a loading state, and a loading state is that when you send the request, so before you get the response, there is a delay. Okay, because there is a process of informations, and all that time we call it the loading. Okay, so in that time it's load, we can show you like a loader or a spinner that says loading. Okay, so when we go back to the backend and we have done everything, as you see, when we have an error, okay, we send the error. Okay, and also when we have a response, when everything is all right, we send this stats. Okay, so this is why I'm using this, because if we send anytime we send an error, for example right here, we send this error when there is something wrong, and we're gonna catch it and we're gonna put it in the error. And if everything went all right, this is what we send, and then we're gonna get these informations, specifically the message right here, as you see, register success, and we're gonna show it, where I'm gonna store it in the success. And the loading is when everything is working, we're gonna have this loading state. Now we want to see these things on action, so let's do it. So we go back down after everything. So right here you can just go simply when we have an error, we're just simply gonna show it. Okay, so right here we're gonna create a div, let's call it error text, and inside this we're just gonna show the error. Okay, we don't have any error because the error right here is empty. Now it's not nothing, but if we want to write here like and add like you have an error, okay, it's gonna show that message. Okay, and this is gonna be filled from the backend, or the message that we get from the backend. Okay, the same way goes for the success. We're gonna just copy this. This is gonna be the success, and let's copy this and use it also right here. And this is div is gonna be success text. Okay, so let's create this divs because we want to have anyone to be the right one. Okay, so okay, so this is just for the error. Okay, let's go to the success and write something. Where is the success? Or just write success. Okay, like this to see what we have. Okay, so let's go back to the styles. So let me go to the login style, and right here you can just go after this, and let's add this, for example, error and success styles. I always use them to understand language. Okay, so the error text is gonna be just simply changing the color, and I regret not adding this to the variables. So this is why variables are really important. Okay, so now we gotta go to the styles and get the color from the inputs. Okay, you should add it in a variable. So let's copy it right here, and you're gonna see that the color of it is now the red. Okay, and also for the success, this is a have it on variable, so the color is gonna be var, and then we're gonna go the green color. Okay, and this is how it's gonna look. So now we've done it all for the error and the success. So let me just go back right here. So now we know how they're gonna look. So let's just remove everything from here. So now what we can do with the loading is simply we're gonna show a spinner. Okay, when it's a loading state, we're gonna show a spinner. So this is gonna be in the beginning false. So we're gonna have a package that's called React Spinners. So this is from npm. You can take that, copy it, go back to your project, Ctrl-G to open the terminal, and then paste this right here to install it. Okay, after the installation is quite easy. You just have can go to their website, and you're gonna have a lot of different variants that you can use for your website. So they look cool, you can choose from them. I'm gonna use this one right here. So first of all, we're gonna go back and gonna see the example, and we're gonna just take this. Okay, and then go back right here and go, let me close the terminal, and go to the top and import it. So right here, and now we're gonna use the name here. You imported the name you want, so you can go back to the website and choose this one. You copy that name, okay, you go back and then change this right here and also change this right here. Okay, let's go down right here, and before them we're gonna have it. Okay, so you can go back to the npm and it's all ready for you, so you can just copy it. Okay, right here, copy. Let me go back right here and paste it. You're gonna paste it before this. Okay, so we're gonna change the name from the clipboarder or the clip loader to this one, which is the dot loader. That's the new one that we're gonna use. For the color, we're gonna have just a random color for now. Okay, let's have the right color that we want. Okay, so it's gonna be a hex value and it's gonna be 1876F2, which is blue. And the CSS is gonna remove this, and for the size, let's make it 30. And the loading is the loading state that you have. So when the loading is false, it's not gonna show, but when it's true, it's gonna show. So let's go to the login, let's make this true. Okay, and boom, then we're gonna show it right here. So this is the way you do it. You can play with the size and all, but this you understand that when we send the request to the database, we're gonna show this loader, and when it's finished and we get the response, we're just gonna change and play with the value of loading to make it appear or disappear. Okay, so when it's false, it's not gonna show. When it's true, it's gonna show. So this is simply why I have the error and the success and the loading, and we aim. Now let's work on the function. First of all, I'm gonna have a try catch. Okay, let me just, because we're gonna catch some errors that we have. So first of all, let's open the terminal and we're gonna install a package that's called Axios, which is gonna help us send the request from the front end to the backend. So npmi Axios. Okay, it's very simple, very straightforward, and probably you've used this before. Okay, so let's import it up. Import Axios from Axios. Okay, we're gonna go back to where we at. So when we catch when we have an error, so simply we're gonna have the loading to be false, and also we're gonna set the success to be empty. So like when the error state, we're not gonna show any success message, and the loading is gonna be false. We don't want to show any loader. Okay, and also we're gonna set the error. So when the error state, we're gonna set the error so we can show it. So we're gonna set the error, and we're gonna set it with simply the error, which is we catch right here. And we're gonna get it from the response, and then the data, and then the message. And let me explain. Okay, so the response is the response that we get from the backend. Okay, so this is the response, and inside the response there is the data, and the data is simply like, for example, when we send everything inside right here, this is the data. Okay, so if for example, if I want to get the token, I can go response.data.token. Okay, but this is when we have the error. So simply let's see when we have an error. So when we have an error right here, for example, the 400, as you see, this is the data that we sent, and inside this data we have this message. So we can just gonna choose it so we can show it to the user. So if any one of this error appears, it's gonna be from here, from this message. Okay, it's very, very simple. Okay, so now we're gonna go and const, and you can just go and get the response. This is gonna be the response, but I'm gonna extract data. Okay, so this is like going response data. I'm gonna go and get the data directly. Okay, and this is gonna be a wait. Okay, I'm gonna use Axios, and then the type of the request is gonna be post, because we're gonna send data. And right here we're gonna have send the link of that we have of the backend and also the rows. Okay, so we're gonna go right here. Let me close the backend. Let me go to the front end, and in the source, or at least in the front end, we're gonna have a new file. Let's call it this.env, which is the same that we had in the backend, but in the front end is gonna be universally accepted, so you don't need to install any packages. The only concern that you have to add React app before any name of the variables. Okay, and then you're gonna name it whatever you want. So this is gonna be for me, I'm gonna call it backend URL. Okay, backend URL, and here we're gonna have the URL, which is gonna be http /localhost and 8000. Okay, so this is the URL of the backend that we had. You can check it from the backend and go to the env, not the env. You're gonna go to the you can do it from the env. So this is we're gonna use this in localhost and also in the port 8000, so you understand where we're at. Okay, so this is the URL of the backend. So let me just check again, http localhost 8000. So see, you can take this now and simply just go right here, have backticks, And now let's use the variable, which is gonna same way we used before, process.env. We use this, many times in the backend, and then we're gonna pass the URL, and then /, and we're gonna simply just use the route that we had in the backend. So in the routes right here, for the user, for the register, we use the route register. So simply we're gonna use that right here, okay? And then right here, we're just gonna send all the data that we need to sign up with, which is the data is going to be this ones right here, okay? All the variables, okay? Simply like this. So this is how you do it, okay? So and after all of this, so now we get to the data right here. You can console log it, you can do whatever you want with it, okay? So simply I'm going to see what I'm going to do right here. So I'm just going to simply set the error. So if we had like an error before, we're just going to make it empty, so we don't have any error shown, because this is when it's right, okay? And now we're going to set the success, which is the success message, which is gonna get it. We said that we have the data, so we can take it from the data.message, okay? And this is, and I'm gonna show you which is one is gonna be. So if we go back to the controllers, so this is when the success, this is what we're gonna send, okay? And the message that I'm talking about is this one, this message. So it's gonna be register success, please activate your email to start, okay? So this is simply what we've done, okay? And another thing that we're gonna do, so this is fine, this is gonna work. Okay, so if we try it now, we're gonna see that this works. So let's try it and then show you what else we're gonna do, okay? So simply now, if I'm going to this temp mail, okay, let me just refresh this. Okay, let me go to the database, sorry, we don't have any user right here. So let's wait, I'm gonna take this and we're gonna try to register and see if we have any errors for now, okay? Let me refresh. Let's go have a user, okay. And then we're gonna have the email. All right, here let's have 1 2 3 4 5 6 mail, and I'm gonna choose like a random date, okay? And then we're gonna try and sign up. Let's open the console to see if we have any problems. And now let's try and click sign up. So when we click sign up, everything is working. We don't have any problems right here. We have a problem, okay? So we have an error right here, so we're gonna check it. So connect property when defined reading data, okay? Let me see right here. Failed to load data on accounts. I think I know what the problem is. That's we didn't, run the server, okay? So we're gonna go open the terminal, open a new tab, and let's go into the backend because we need to run the server, okay? npm run server. See that it's running. Okay, let's just wait a little bit. So do you see the connected to the database and everything? Okay, this is taking a bit long. Okay, now it's fine. Okay, server is running and database connected. So we can go now and open the console. Let me clear everything from here and try again. So now we click on sign up and this wait, and as you see, this is the success message that we got, which is register success, please activate your email to start, okay, which is the one backend. So now we gotta see this. When we go to the email, we're gonna see if we got a verification email. So first of all, let's go to the database and refresh, and then we're gonna see that it's been registered with the same affirmations that we used right here, okay? So everything is working fine. We can go now to the temp mail, and as you see, we got an email right here, which is this one, and as you see, this is the email that we worked on that's going to be used to verify and activate our account. So this is working fine. So now let's check also if the errors are going to be displayed without any problem. So the simple error that we can test right now is if we try to register with the same email. So that's going to throw a problem, okay? We test this on the backend, so now let's try it on the front end. So simply we're going to click sign up with the same email that we used. So to click sign up, and as you see, this email address already exists. Try with a different email address. So this is also for the errors that are going to be displayed without any problem. Let's work on adding all the data that we're going to get from the backend, and we're going to add it to the state. So if we go F12, and then let's open this, and then if we went to the Redux, as I've said before, I'm going to have this user that's going to be null. Now I want all the informations that I've got from the backend. I'm going to fill it right here, okay? So I'm also going to use cookies, and the reason why is because when you refresh, when you have the state, so now we added everything in the user, and we refresh, the page is going to disappear. So you need to save it, okay? And the way that we're going to save it is we're going to save it in the cookies, and from the cookies we're going to give it and just put it right here, okay? So it's going to be quite easy, nothing hard, just let's do it and you're going to see, okay? let me just close this for now and let's go right here. So after setting the success and data.message, so now we're gonna also extract the things that we're gonna need. So we're gonna extract const, and then we're gonna remove the message. Okay, this message is not gonna be existed, and then we're gonna spread the rest of the data. So it's gonna be rest, and this is gonna equal that. Okay, so all we've done right here. So if we console log, we do need to send again, so we're not gonna do it. So what I'm doing here exactly by doing this is simply, so this is the data that we're gonna send. I'm just gonna remove the message from here, and then this is gonna be the rest, because this is the information that I want to add to the store, to the Redux store. Okay, I don't want to add this message. Okay, so this is simply the rest is gonna be these informations. Okay, and you're gonna see. So now after this, we're gonna dispatch and actions, and I've talked about it before, but first of all, I want to wait like 2 seconds. So we're going to show the message and then redirect. So to know that the user, we send him a message or a link to the email. Okay, if he didn't wait, it's just gonna automatically, you know, run the next code, and we're gonna change to the home page and not gonna see this. Okay, so I want to make sure that he sees the message. And to await, this is simply, you can use the timeout, set timeout function, which is simply, this is what it does. Okay, so we're gonna set the timeout, and we're gonna have an arrow, and everything you're gonna do it right here, and here you define how much you want to wait till you run inside anything inside this set timeout. Okay, so we just want to wait 2 seconds, which is gonna be 2000, and this code we're gonna wait after this, it's just gonna wait 2 seconds and run anything inside this. Okay, so the first thing is gonna dispatch the action that we have, which is gonna be the login. So if we go back to the read user, in the user we have this action login, so we want to dispatch it. Okay, so to dispatch it, first of all, let's define dispatch. So simply we can define it right here, it's not a problem. So const dispatch, which is going to be use dispatch. Okay, dispatch, and we're going to call this use dispatch. Let me try and do it automatically if we can. We can't, so we're going to go upside, we're going to go up top, and then import use dispatch from React Redux. Okay, so we can use, you know, if for a practical way or a more professional way, you can put this all in the beginning, because you might need them in another functions, but we're not going to use them, we're not going to need them there, so we just can have them right here. Okay, but the better way is just to put them up top, you know, in the beginning of the function. Okay, so this is the way, and then we're going to go right here. So inside this, we're going to dispatch, and we're going to dispatch the action that we have, which is going to be simply, you're going to define the type, and the type is going to be login, and then we're going to send the payload. The payload is what you want to send, or the data, which is simply going to be the rest of the data. Okay, so the rest of the data is going to be dispatched, the login to the user. Okay, and also we're going to use cookies to store them in the cookies. So we're going to need a package for this. So let me go right here. So in the front end, npmi is going to be called GS cookie. Okay, like this, and let me go up here and just import it also. So import cookies. Okay, cookies from JS cookie. Okay, let me close this, and we're gonna take these cookies, and then we're gonna call it, and then we're gonna have set, and we're gonna set, and we're gonna call this user, so we know that the information of the user, so this is the name that we used, and then we're gonna JSON the stringify. So stringify the data that we have in form of JSON, and then we're gonna pass the rest. Okay, the same way. And the last thing that we're gonna need is just to change from this page and move him to the home page. Okay, so we're gonna redirect him from this page to the home page, and then we're gonna do it. We're gonna use navigate from the React Router browser, React Router DOM. So we can go right here and import. I'm gonna import use navigate. If I can write it, navigate, and it's gonna be from React Router DOM, and simply you can go right here, const navigate, it's gonna be equal use navigate. Okay, we can just take the dispatch. Let me just remove it from here. I want it right here. Okay, I'm used to this. Okay, and simply after all of this, the last thing that we're gonna do is simply navigate, and it's gonna be to the home page. So this is all what we need to do. So let's try this again. So let's refresh this page. Maximize this, go to the database and remove the user, delete, and let's try again and see if everything is gonna be all right. So you can just have this. Let me use the same email. Okay, back to list, and let's copy this. All right. This is a game of waiting then. Okay, let's go back. The password, mail, in the random, and then sign up. And as you see, we're gonna get this message, and then after 2 seconds we're gonna get redirected here. And if we have F12 and go to the Redux, and we're gonna see in the user we have all of the informations added right here except the message. Okay, so everything you wanted right here. Okay, after this you can go to the application and you can go to cookies right here, and then choose the website, and you're gonna see the user, we have it in form of JSON. Okay, when we take this data and then display it in form of parse it, and this is gonna look fine. Okay, so but now it's gonna be in form of JSON. Okay, so this is fine. So the way the thing works, as I said, so this is the Redux. If I refresh the page, we're going to see that the user now is null. So how we can prevent this, and we make sure that the data from here gets from the cookies. So simply we're going to go back right here, and let me go to the user reducer that we just been into, and instead of null right here we're gonna get the data from the cookies. Okay, so it's going to be cookies. So let me just import it right here, and we're going to see get, and we're gonna see if we have the user. So if we have it, then right here we're gonna just do whatever we want. Okay, let me just put this right here so it looks more understandable. So if we have it, then we're just simply gonna go JSON and then parse the data to get it in a form of objects, and then we're gonna go cookies dot get, and then the user, which is the name that we saved this by. If it doesn't exist, so if this is not existing, then it's just gonna be null. Okay, this way. So now when we refresh, we're gonna see that the user is now filled. Okay, and it's gotten from the application. If you go to the cookies, and it's gotten from here. Okay, if we go and remove this, and we go back to the Redux and refresh, is not gonna be here. Okay, so this is the way that we use this. So now we finished with the register. So